Her husband filed for divorce after her father died, thinking she was entitled to half of the inheritance. A cold wind blew across the cemetery as Isla Carter stood beside her father's grave, her black coat fluttering like a torn flag. People whispered condolences, patted her shoulder, and slowly walked away. But she barely heard a thing. Her world had cracked open, and the only person she expected to stand beside her, wasn't he there. Her husband, Thomas, hadn't he shown up. He had sent a text instead. "Sorry, busy at work. Will come by later." He never did. Isla wiped her tears, too exhausted to feel anger. She had spent the last year taking care of her father as he battled a terminal illness. Thomas had grown distant during that time, complaining about her emotional overload and constant absence. Yet she still believed that once things calmed down, he would come around. She had no idea her life was about to take another devastating turn. 3 days after the funeral, Isla walked into the house she shared with Thomas, hoping he had prepared something warm, maybe a hug, maybe silence, anything but the coldness that had become normal. He was sitting at the dining table, a stack of papers neatly placed in front of him. "Sit," he said. Isla froze. Something in his voice felt wrong, too rehearsed. When she sat down, he slid the papers toward her. "Sign these." She scanned the top page and her breath shattered. "Divorce petition." Her hands shook. "Thomas, what is this? Why, my father just died." "That's exactly why," he said, leaning back casually. "Isla, I know your father left you money. Probably a lot. And when you inherit it, half becomes mine because we're married." She blinked in disbelief. "You want a divorce because you think I'm getting an inheritance?" He didn't even flinch. "I'm just being practical. Marriage hasn't been working anyway. And you'll be rich soon, so don't pretend you're the victim." Isla felt something inside her break. "My father never talked about money with you. What makes you think I inherited anything?" Thomas scoffed. "Don't play dumb. Everyone knew he was wealthy. He left you the house, land, money, everything. I want my fair share." Isla stood, clutching the table. "You didn't even go to his funeral." "It wasn't necessary," he said dismissively. "Just sign the papers." Isla walked away without another word. She was done crying. Done begging. Done pretending this was love. She needed answers, not from Thomas, but from her father's lawyer. Chapter 2: The Truth About the Will. The next morning, Isla entered the sleek, glass-walled office of attorney Richard Hale, her father's longtime friend. Richard stood as she walked in. "Isla, I'm so sorry for your loss. Please sit. We need to talk about your father's wishes." Isla swallowed hard. "Did he leave me something? My husband is demanding half." Richard's expression became unreadable. "Yes, he left you something. But not what anyone expects." He handed her a sealed envelope with her name written in her father's handwriting. With trembling fingers, she opened it. Inside was a short letter. "My dearest Isla, I know Thomas only stayed for what he believed I would leave. That's why I left all my assets to someone else, someone who will protect you, not take advantage of you. Go to the cottage by Silver Lake. Everything you need to know is there. Dad." Isla stared at the words, speechless. "Someone else who I'm his only child?" Richard nodded. "That's what shocked me too. But your father was clear." He handed her another document, the official will. Everything was left to one name, Dr. Elias Reed. Isla blinked. Who is this? I've never heard of him. Richard hesitated. Your father said he trusted this person more than anyone. And that the cottage will explain everything. Isla's pulse quickened. Her father had left her a mystery one Thomas would never expect. The cottage was 2 hours away, tucked deep within the pine forests of Silver Lake. When Isla arrived, the setting sun stained the sky orange, and waves shimmered like liquid fire. She expected silence. But she found someone waiting. A tall man with dark hair and gentle eyes stood on the porch, holding a steaming cup of tea as if he knew she was coming. You must be Isla, he said softly. I'm Elias. Her father's chosen heir. A stranger. Do you know why I'm here? She asked. He nodded and opened the door. Your father told me everything. Inside, the cottage was warm and cozy. Her father's pictures covered the walls, along with files, documents, photos. His entire life spread like a map. Isla's throat tightened. Why did he leave everything to you? Elias motioned for her to sit. Because I was his doctor. But more importantly, I was his friend. Then why not leave things to me? Elias looked into her eyes. Because he feared Thomas would take everything from you. So he made a plan. He handed her a leather folder. Inside was a written agreement. Her father had transferred all assets to Elias temporarily, trusting him to give everything back to Isla once she was free emotionally, financially, legally from Thomas. Isla covered her mouth, tears sliding down her cheeks. My father protected me even after death. Elias smiled sadly. He loved you more than anything. Isla whispered, why would you help me? Because he asked me to, Elias replied. And because I want to. His voice held warmth, sincere, gentle. Something she had forgotten existed. Thomas was furious. You're lying. He shouted when Isla returned home. Your father didn't he leave you nothing? I'll take this to court. I'll prove you're hiding the inheritance. Isla stood tall, her grief now hardened into resolve. Thomas, you left me. You showed who you are. This marriage is over. Thomas filed lawsuits, demanded investigations, hired private investigators, but the will was airtight. Elias cooperated fully, proving there was no inheritance in Isla's name. After 3 months of court battles, the judge ruled in Isla's favor. She owed Thomas nothing. The marriage was dissolved. Thomas walked out of the courtroom with his face red, fists clenched, reputation shattered. Isla walked out free. Isla returned to Silver Lake to thank Elias for everything. He was standing by the water, skipping stones across the surface. When he saw her, he smiled. It's done. Yes, she said. Because of you, and my father. Elias handed her a small box. This belonged to him. He wanted you to have it only after the divorce was finalized. Inside was a key. The key to the cottage, Elias said. Everything here is yours now. Isla felt a lump in her throat. You were supposed to keep all my father's assets. I kept them safe, Elias replied. Now I'm giving them to their rightful owner. She looked at him, truly seeing him for the first time, not just a stranger, but someone who had chosen to protect her without expecting anything. Elias, she whispered, I don't know how to thank you. You already have, he said gently. By surviving. Isla stepped closer, the wind brushing her hair. Will you stay help me rebuild my father's cottage? Elias's eyes softened. I'd like that. And as the sun dipped behind the pines, Isla felt something she hadn't felt in a long, long time. Hope. A future not defined by betrayal, but by healing. By new beginnings. And maybe, by love.